We're watching Daybreak, and it's time for us to get interactive, and we're going to talk about an all too familiar issue that most Nigerians have an opinion about, and that is with regards to Nigeria's endemic corruption that continues to look like the bane of our growth and development. And under the current administration of President Tinubu, corruption once again is on the forefront. As Nigerians continue to weigh in on some of the events that has happened already, you can talk about the ongoing prosecution of the immediate past CBN governor in connection with several malpractices, irregularities, as well as corruption charges that are still pending in court. But also, the EFCC's efforts so far has caught the attention and the imagination of the Nigerian public, especially last week, where the governor, or the former governor of Kogi State, was in the news following those amended charges by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. And then the Kogi State government coming to the defense of former Governor Yabelo, saying that no funds were missing. But then there is the Better Edu Gate. There's the Halima Sadia situation, the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. So we just want to sample your thoughts, your views on what you make of the current fight against corruption under the current administration, especially as the House of Representatives was sounding the alarm about why it's taking forever to conclude the investigations of the currently suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Dr. Better Edu, alongside others who have been indicted in those allegations as well as investigations. So give us a call. Feel free to share your thoughts, your views, your comments, as well as your suggestions. If you have rhetorical questions that we cannot obviously answer, feel free to share them with us on the program. The number is showing on your TV screen. Just a quick reminder, rules of engagement: please turn down the volume of your TV set while calling in so that we can avoid the interference, allowing us to talk to a lot more people on this particular segment. At this point, we're sounding like a broken record talking about fight against corruption, because we're clearly not winning. I think the presidency last week was talking about how the corrupt element in the society are the ones fighting back, making life harder for the administration because they're not happy about subsidy removal, because they're not happy about some of the reforms and so on and so forth. But listen, the Buhari days took the appetite out of me, and somehow I believe that we can't win. Okay, we have someone on the line, so let's get to our first caller. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the program. Your name, please, and where you're calling from. Hello, good morning. Okay, let's move to the next caller, please. I think we've stated it very clearly. Turn down the volume of your TV set while calling in, so we can avoid the delay as well as the interference, and let's just go straight to the conversation. Turn down the volume of your TV set. I don't want to say switch off your TV set because that's your prerogative, but please turn it down, because the interference doesn't make for a smooth conversation. Yeah, I was just talking about how this whole thing sounds, like we're whipping a dead horse or something.
Absolutely, you have said it all. It gets to a point where it begins to sound like what we see are just optics to give us the impression that something has been done. But deep down, we don't see results. I understand we have another caller. Good morning, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Come on.
Can you come again, please?
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear us? Okay. I think that most people don't understand how this works. If you're waiting to hear your voice across the TV set, there's going to be a lag. There's going to be a delay, and that will not make for a smooth interaction. There are so many viewers who are just going to watch us who would love to hear the conversation, and you not turning down the volume of your TV set does not allow that to happen. So let's try and stick to the rules and have a proper conversation. I believe your opinions, your thoughts are very important because you want to share them with us. So feel free to articulate your thoughts. But of course, please turn down the volume of your TV set while calling in. Once you get through, state your name, where you're calling from, that's your location, and go straight to the point with your remarks. You were saying something earlier about,
basically about the optics, but others would disagree with you, of course. There are those who are quick to reference the fact that this president has shown some zeal and commitment in this fight against corruption. I mean, it's been a while since we saw, yes, the president moved swiftly to suspend a serving minister, a senior minister at that, if you like. Not a
one would say Buhari, not Buhari himself, but, you know, the acting president then suspended the secretary to the government of the federation. But, you know, at the end of the day, would we say that the Buhari administration won the fight against corruption?
You know,
I don't think they won the battle.
That's right. Yeah. We have also seen what he has done with the implementation of some of the recommendations of the special investigator to the Central Bank of Nigeria. We have seen heads roll at that level. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling.
If you can hear me, can we kindly get your thoughts?
Okay. I feel like are we not speaking English?
We are.
It's
maybe,
very clear.
A part of it has got
just
to do
put the
with
phone to your ear and just talk. Yeah, just talk to us.
Couple of days.
Yeah, just talk to us directly. There's no need to hear the feedback from your TV. Once you can hear us on your headset, I think that's okay, or your phone directly. Let's have a proper conversation, because I believe Nigerians have a lot to say, especially about the fight against corruption.
You know, so we've continued to see one or two glimpses. That sort of. We have another caller. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, the fight against corruption in Nigeria.
Can we please have your name and where you're calling from?
Okay, my name is Usman Mohammed, and I'm calling from Bauchi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Usman.
Yeah, I'm calling from Bauchi State.
Go ahead.
Well, my contribution is, sincerely speaking, Nigeria's case entirely is more like a fictional drama. Right from onset of the democratic dispensation to date, nothing appears to be serious. Both the leadership, in fact, the followership is also corrupt presently due to the prevalence of the corrupt practices and the negligence of governmental leaders in various political positions. The negligence has made people to develop this ideology, this notion of corruption is the best way out. People are beginning to thrive on corruption. Nothing good will come out of this fight against corruption. Nothing. At the end of this government, after this government has finished its own tenure, we will still be back here talking about corruption. Because we can see what is happening with Nindi. A very serious allegation was raised. But all the Senate could do was to suspend the person that raised the allegation. 3-point-something trillion naira is at stake. He may be wrong, he may be right. It's a serious disaster. 3-point-something trillion naira is enough to build a lot of healthcare centers in Nigeria, to train a lot of youth. Sincerely speaking, the Nigerian system entirely is like it is being run by thugs. People that have not passed through a classroom entirely in their life, people who have nothing to do with responsibility and maturity.
All right.
National consciousness in this country is so poor. Patriotism is dying on a daily basis.
Yeah. I mean,
on a daily basis, we have nothing to see. In fact, I'm beginning to believe that the military era is much better, because we went to school during the military era and uniforms were being distributed in schools. Books are given in schools. We used to post letters in front of our houses.
Right.
We make calls to phone booths in our communities. But presently, security, health, education, everything is not functioning. Nothing. The ministries are just there, just corrupt.
Yeah. Usman,
annoying and in fact, I'm sorry for my tone.
No, I can understand.
The way things are going.
Yeah,
the way things are going is so difficult for us to understand what is happening.
Right. We appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us. But
send people there to represent us, but what we are seeing is a different thing entirely.
Yeah. Understandably so.
Common man fend for himself. By all means, everything you do, you have to be extra hard working for you to survive in Nigeria.
Okay, Usman, thank you most kindly. We're trying to make room for others to join in, but you made some salient points about national consciousness, about the normalization of this idea of corruption, so much so that even society is accepting of it. The ends justifies the means. So it's not just the leadership that is also corrupt, but there are elements within the followership, and it's spreading like a virus. And I can't help but agree with him on some of those notes.
Yeah, completely, because when you think about corruption, then you are thinking about a situation that has a willing giver and a collector on the other hand, and none is more guilty than the other. And because that kind of environment exists, it sort of festers.
It engenders it.
It engenders it. And empowers those who have benefited from this process to continue to entrench the practice. And so the odds are completely stacked against you if you want to do the right thing in this country.
There's an exception. There's an acceptance of certain corrupt practices. You get a feeling that society is beginning to normalize it.
That's right.
And I like that he's saying that patriotism is dying. Silas is calling in. Silas, good morning. Thank you so much for calling on the program. Where is your location, Silas? Silas from Kaduna, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning to you too.
Go ahead, Silas.
Nice topic of discussion, fight against corruption. Some things I wanted to just mention is that Mr. President is doing very well. No doubt about that. But for someone to be in the seat of leadership is really not a small thing, so much responsibility. Good job, kudos to him. But there are some things I was just thinking about. To fight corruption, you need to know that there is corruption, which I believe they understand that. Secondly is that you need to know who is corrupt. Who is corrupt. And the truth is, you can't fight it one-sided. If you want to deal with it, you deal with it. It's like a mosquito in the house. You can't kill 2 mosquitoes while there are 10 mosquitoes in the house and you say you want to kill one. So you want to kill mosquitoes, you have to kill all the mosquitoes so that you can have a good sleep. So corruption, to fight corruption is not a one-sided thing. You have to be open to deal with it all round and all angle without fear or favor. Next, most people in leadership feels as if you can just sit in a particular place and be controlling things happening. The truth is, you really want to work, you have to come down to the grassroots. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you, Silas. Go ahead.
Good. You really want to work, you have to come down to the grassroots. I'm not saying you have to come down and be moving around in the community, but you have to be directly linked to the people on the grassroots to really get feedback from them. One of the problems we have is chain of communication, the breakdown in communication. You sit there in power, you expect people to come down from down and give you report. If you really don't go down yourself to hear what is going down, it's going to be a problem. It's just what they want you to hear that they keep telling you. So you really need to work more hard, especially the aspect of insecurity. I don't know how true this is, but there was a time I heard that one of the presidents mentioned that if corruption or insecurity lingers for more than 24 hours, it means some people in the government are interested.
Thank you very much.
So I really want to buy that an idea. So what that idea? So I wish that the president would step more and do things without fear and favor. Really seriously. He should confront it without fear and favor. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Silas.
For those invaluable contributions. Two notable takeaways. One of them is that you can't fight corruption in isolation. He wants a complete fumigation of the country, however that works. But more importantly, he talks about feedback. And not relying on the orthodox channels for this feedback, because they've got a way of distorting the information that get to the president. So he talks about some intelligent or innovative ways that allow the president to extract feedback from the grassroots.
But this is where experience plays in, isn't it? Former governor, someone who has been within the system for quite some time, especially under the current dispensation.
I mean, the structures are
you should have the necessary, skill set to be able to deal with it.
I think the president can also trust the media a bit more. Because what you see on the pages are not necessarily designed or calculated at embarrassing the government, just the way former president will refer to reports. That they are basically giving you feedback. Chibuzo from Niger State, good morning, and let's have your thoughts this morning.
Hello, Chibuzo. I think we've lost our connection to Chibuzo. But try calling back again. The number is on your TV screen. We're talking about the fight against corruption under the current leadership in the country. President Tinubu is dealing with this proverbial bull that we've been unable to face or rather tackle by the horns because it's still dealing as a heavy blow as far as underdevelopment, underperformance, and all of these, because you can tie and link everything that is wrong with this country to corruption. Insecurity, corruption. Unemployment, corruption. Poverty, corruption. Everything. So, it has its tentacles all over the place. And I remember the past administration when President Buhari said, if we don't kill it, it will kill us. And I think that the jury is out about who is winning.
The president before President Jonathan at one point will say, it appears like the name corruption sort of sophisticates the whole idea around it. I call it stealing. That is what.
Oh, I remember that. Was that the CNN interview?
Yeah. Where he was.
It was rather embarrassing because
between stealing and corruption. And how corruption sort of edifies what is basic stealing and should be treated.
They say difference. Difference without distinction. That's because they're one and the same thing. Corrupt people steal. And stealing is a form of corruption, if you ask most people.
That would, of course, explain why the former British Prime Minister would describe us as a fantastically corrupt nation. Painful as that was.
I don't think we're being fantastic about it, actually. Fantastically corrupt is
of that description. We do it so well; it has become an industry in this country of some sort, to the level where it becomes practically impossible for you to function, even if you mean well. Because of the way this industry, as it were, has taken deep roots. We've heard stories of how heads of agencies, ministries, departments, and agencies of government, for instance, are unable to implement anything or even get their budget passed until they play balls with the appropriate committees that would approve the appropriation for the. We have another caller. Your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
My name is Mubarak. I'm calling you from Jos Plateau State to be precise.
Thank you very much, Mubarak. May we hear your thoughts this morning?
I really appreciate the other caller that made a contribution, made a reference of, infested mosquitoes in a particular room. The reality is that we hesitate to face the reality. We continue to lie to ourselves. We know the problem. You cannot just go, continue to lie to yourself. Nigerian is a country that we have different diversities of people. And we elevate people just because of religious sentiment. It is not my own. I am not going to vote him. We know the problem of the country, but we continue to lie to ourselves. I pity the unborn generation and the ones yet on. Every blessed day, if I wake up, I pity the unborn generation. If our situation is worsening day by day, second by second, minute by minute, what of the ones yet unborn and the ones, the upcoming generation? Are we really ready as a nation? Are we really serious? Life is all about purpose. may Almighty see us through. To be honest with you, I am disturbed. That is why sometimes I used to say that we should all be on our knees and seek apology and forgiveness to the past administrations. I am referring to Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Didn't we insult him? Didn't we call him all sorts of names? I so much respect Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Now we elevated Mr. Integrity. Now look at how the country is. One mudu of bill during the era of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan is worth 100 naira. But multiplier now look at the inflation galloping, skyrocketing, and we continue to lie to ourselves. Please let us do the needful, please.
Okay.
Let's give this a chance, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mubarak, for joining the conversation. You can't help but notice that element of emotion seeping into the conversation every time we're talking about Nigeria-related matters, because, I mean, people really feel, a connection, an emotional connection to how bad things are right now, because we know for a fact that this country has the natural and human resources, the potential is there, everything is there. It's like there's this perfect recipe. Unfortunately, it has been quite disastrous for the most part. And, to his point exactly about, in denial, you get a sense that, the fight against corruption itself is somewhat skewed. It depends on whether you're in the good graces or not of the people in power. Over time, we've also had so many, instances where the EFCC is seen as, the hunting dog of the people in power. Even though we've had, several cases of people in power, really setting that, bulldog against people that, are under their sort of political patronage. But, I think the anti-corruption fight itself is leaving much to be desired. The whistleblower policy under the Buhari administration was supposed to be a game changer. We've seen some impact, but to a large extent, the gaps is just too many, and Nigerians are less than satisfied with what they've seen so far as the fight against corruption is concerned. One
salient point that was made by Mubarak and does require amplifying is the place of nepotism in the fight against corruption in Nigeria.
Selectivism.
Selectivism, if you like. It's from my place and therefore can do no wrong. I understand we have another caller.
Hello?
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling
from. Good morning.
Thank you.
From in Imo State.
Can you come again with your name?
My name is Edwin Onwebu.
Okay. Good morning, Edwin from Imo State. Can we kindly have you have your thoughts? Thank you. Please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
I appreciate what your program also. But I just want to add one issue. In my place now, the NEPA came and was distributing, increase in the NEPA bill from 3,000 in the community to 5,000. These are some of the things that cause trouble. You didn't discuss it with the people in the community, in the village. You just arbitrarily hike the. They're waiting for them to come. When they saw the reaction, the pressure, they said, okay, let's pay the last one. Subsequently, it will go. Did you discuss it with the people? Did it? I mean, these are some of the things that cause wahala. They are behaving this way because it's innocent. If it were in Delta or you can't do that. They will handle them. Handle them. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Edwin. As much as it's not directly linked to what we're talking about, we can relate, and this is a platform for Nigerians to really voice their concerns. And Imo, for some reason, has been quite notorious with this poor power supply. I think we've done series of reporting there where Ajibade has, spoken to residents, business operators, and just that same point he made about waiting for them to come?
That's right.
We've had people talk and say, listen, I've been running my business on generator. I'm waiting for them to bring their bill, and they're going to see me give it to them. And unfortunately, this is also tied to corruption, by the way.
Basically, it is coming to demand taxes for services you never
they have not been provided
in the first place. People have to situate these conversations within the context of their own daily experience. We have another caller. I understand your name and where you're calling from.
Okay. I think we've lost our connection, and we've just about run out of time for the interactive session on Daybreak. Thank you most kindly for joining the conversation. As always, we encourage you to be a part of the interaction. We want to give you a voice. We want you to share your voice, of course, regarding all the various talking points that we'll be highlighting on this particular segment of the program.